Tonight we're going to be making one of my favorite meals when I don't know what else to cook and when I've got some stuff in the refrigerator that I need to get rid of. We're going to throw together, we're going to have a little Asian inspired dish tonight. We're not even going to give it a name. You can call this Thai basil beef if you want to, but it's probably not going to be exactly that. Y'all, please always remember that anytime there's a recipe that you would really like to try and you don't have all the ingredients, just do it anyway. Substitute something, leave that out. It may not be authentic. It may not taste like if you go into a restaurant and a professional chef made this dish, but if you like it and your family likes it, it's still good, and that's what matters. So here, this is simple. I have several veggies in my fridge that I need to get rid of, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to use I'm going to be using ground beef. You can use any kind of ground meat for this dish you want to. I've made it with chicken. I've made it with pork. Tonight we're going to do beef, and we're going to do 1 pound of ground beef. I'm also, tonight, the veggies that I needed to get rid of, onions, I always have onions here. That's a staple for me. So we've got 1 medium-sized onion, and I've just sliced it up pretty thin. Then I had some of these little, they're the little mini peppers, and I probably put about 5 of those and cut those up. This is a serrano pepper. Now, a serrano is a lot hotter than a jalapeno. If you don't like it really spicy, use a different kind of pepper, or don't use any pepper at all. You don't have to do this. Thai food a lot of time is spicy, but yours doesn't have to be. Remember that. We've got 6 cloves of garlic, and I just used garlic that's already chopped up because that's what I had. And then the recipe I sort of looked at called for some powdered ginger. I've just got some ginger paste, and I'm going to be using about a teaspoon of that. You don't even have to use it if you don't have it. Leave it out. And then I had some bok choy, and I love bok choy. This is probably about, it's probably about 2 cups of bok choy chopped up. You don't have to do that. You could put you some broccoli, some carrots, asparagus. I would love asparagus. My husband, that's not his favorite, so we're not going to do that. The main part of this dish is the sauce that you're going to put over it. So here's what you're going to need for that sauce. You need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and I just mix this all together in a little bowl. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Just put you some extra soy sauce in there. 2 tablespoons of honey or any kind of sweetener you want to use. 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. 1 tablespoon of lime juice. 1 teaspoon of Asian chili sauce. I just had some sriracha, so that's what I used. If you don't like spicy, leave it out. A half a teaspoon of ground ginger. I didn't have that, so I used the ginger paste. And then you're going to need 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. And all you do is put that all together in a little bowl and stir it together. That's it. So what you're going to do, we're going to start out now with our ground beef. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of oil. I've got a wok. Any kind of large skillet, you're going to need a pretty big skillet. If you've got an big black iron skillet, cast iron skillet, use that. We're going to start out with a tablespoon of oil in our skillet. We're going to get that sizzling, and then I'm going to put my meat on top of it. I'm using a little avocado oil because that's what I have. That's what I like. Use whatever kind you want. Your ground beef does need to be lean. I'm using some of mine that I ground myself, so I know it's very lean. If you don't have lean, use what you have and pour the grease off of it. You just don't want a bunch of grease left over. The only other ingredient that you might not have that you might need to buy would be some basil leaves. Most all of these dishes like this call for fresh basil, and you'll need about a cup of basil. In the summertime, I'll have it. I'll have a plethora of fresh herbs. Right now, I don't. So once again, I'm using this little handy dandy basil paste that I'm going to be using. This will go in at the end. Now we're going to start out. I've got my skillet hot. I've got my beef in here, and I'm just going to kind of crumble that up a little bit. And what we're going to do here is mash this down in our skillet. Hubby just made it home. He's going to be helping out tonight. I'm going to turn this on a pretty high heat because I want to sear that. I want to get that browned and crispy. I'm going to leave that for about a minute or so. I'm going to give it just a little sprinkle of salt and pepper. And then I'm just going to let it cook. I'm going to be serving this with rice, and I've already got my rice cooked. I cooked it in my microwave. It's ready and waiting for me. After this gets a nice sear on it, flip it over. Sear that other side. Get your onions and stuff ready because we're going to be tossing those in about 30 seconds. Things go fast at this point. We're not going to be concerned about this meat being completely done. It can still be pink because we got a lot more cooking to go. I'm just going to break the meat up and add in my onions. I'm just going to add it all. I'm going to go ahead and add my bok choy. And I'm going to put a little lid on it to help this along. Traditional Asian food would never do that. Done is however you like it. If you like your veggies really crunchy, leave them crunchy. My husband's got to have his onions cooked. If you're using fresh basil, that will be the very last thing that you stir in at the end just to wilt it a little bit. Since I'm not, I'm going to mix my basil paste in with my liquid before I add it. Add that liquid in, stir it up, taste and adjust. We're almost there. We like a fried egg on top of ours, so I'm going to be cooking us a runny egg. I just did some jasmine rice because that's my favorite. And we're just going to start out with some rice. We're going to use a little fresh lime on the side. And then the egg. And there you have it. That's some good stuff, y'all. You got to try it.